Hey guys, Devin here with the Human Defense Initiative. I'm here with Allie Stuckey from CRTV.
Yes.
Fantastic. And then I'm with Anna Catherine here. She's on our communications team at Human Defense. And so we got a little bit of time with Allie. Everyone at Human Defense is a huge fan, and we love how much she stands up for life. And because, we're at the Turning Point Conference and we're talking about free markets, and we're talking about the Second Amendment, but none of those things really matter if you don't first have the right to life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree?
Yes.
And so the first question we want to ask you, was there ever a time when you weren't pro-life, or was there a process that affirmed your beliefs in the pro-life cause?
I've never not been pro-life, although I don't think it was something I necessarily thought about very much when I was in high school. I was raised in a Christian home, always went to church, went to even a Christian school, and it was never really something that was brought up. I probably really didn't start thinking about it until college, and there was never a point in my life where I was like, well, I could kind of see the justification for it. It's just never been that way to me. Now, I do think that it's probably strengthened as I've learned even more. I think at the very beginning I had one conversation with someone who asked me about, what about rape and incest? And at the time, which was a few years ago, I was like, oh, I don't know. But of course, as I've learned more about science and just about the logical position of being pro-life, you realize there just really is there's never a reason for it.
Exactly.
There's just never a reason for it. So yeah, I would say it's strengthened over time, but there just was never a time that I was pro-choice.
Well, it's great to hear, and it's great to hear from you. So our primary focus at the Human Defense Initiative is making abortion unthinkable and unavailable in our lifetime, which is something I definitely believe is possible, especially with our team and with the pro-life generation. We are the pro-life generation, most pro-life in history, and there's so much momentum in our direction, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. And so we are holistically pro-life, so we also speak out about euthanasia and assisted suicide and things like that, because we care about the child and we care about the mother. We care about them both equally. And then we care about people at all stages of life, from conception to death. And that's so important. I feel like it's sometimes lacking in the pro-life community.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you, do you think this is an important aspect that needs to be talked about more among pro-life circles, and why?
Yeah, well, I think it's important that pro-lifers are not just talking about the babies inside the womb, but that we are making it to where women don't feel like they have to get abortions. We know that abortion is never necessary, but there are moms out there who genuinely think that abortion is necessary. They're being manipulated by the PR arm of Planned Parenthood. They're being manipulated by all of the pro-choice messaging out there that, one, dehumanizes the baby inside the womb and says it's just a clump of cells, and then number two says this is something that you need to do. Your life will be better once you have an abortion, and then you won't ever have to think about it anymore. That is not true. From the women that I've spoken to, my aunt had an abortion probably 40 years ago now. She's still on the anniversary of that abortion every year, is just heartbroken over it. I know someone who had an abortion just a few years ago. I know a woman who had an abortion 20 years ago. No matter where those people are spiritually or politically, they regret their abortion. It's an outlier, and I think a liar, period, the woman who says that she doesn't regret her abortion. It's a part of you, and I believe it's how God made you. It's how God made you to love the baby inside you. Whether you believe in God or not, you could just believe evolution made you that way, whatever. But it's a breaking of the natural relationship between the mother and the child, and that's why we care about the mother just as much. Exactly. We want compassion for her. We want resources for her. We want her to get a job. We want her to get out of that abusive relationship. We want to put her in a safe place. We want to help her with the adoption process if she needs it, the foster care process if she needs it. We want her to feel surrounded and loved. And I think that's the message that it needs to be. It's about loving them both, because Planned Parenthood loves neither.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And, I always think how amazing it would be if the $500 million that went to Planned Parenthood was distributed among these pregnancy centers.
Exactly.
Or centers that want to help women, like you said, love them both, loving and supporting the women. Whether, we partner with the Human Coalition here in Dallas. They're a fantastic organization, and if this woman, they always ask, what is the reason for an abortion, right? And it could be financially, they could not have a job, they could not be in a relationship. And what they do is they come in and step in and ask them and provide help. So if they don't have a job, they have connections with job networks. And it's just so important to, like you said, love them both.
Right, exactly.
So one thing I've noticed since like following you on Twitter or watching your videos is you are very, 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 like, you speak about your faith and you talk about what you believe in. So how has your Christian worldview impacted your political views?
Yeah, to me, the speaker who went on before me talked about how women are kind of like spaghetti, like everything is melted together and guys are compartmentalized. And I think that's true. I don't know if it's true because I'm a Christian or because I'm a woman or both, but I find it very hard to extract my politics from my faith. And that's not to say that I use the Bible to justify every single political view, but it influences everything I think. And so I'm a conservative because of what I believe in the Bible. I feel no need or moral responsibility whatsoever to separate what I believe politically from the Bible. And now the left tries to make us think that you can't be a conservative and be a Christian, which I just think is absolutely crazy. What it comes down to is what you think about the individual. As a Christian, I believe that all people are made in God's image, and because of that, they have inherent worth and inherent rights. And the Constitution outlines those rights as given to us by God. If you don't believe in God, I think it's very hard to believe that people have inherent rights, because where did they come from? So for me, that's great. That's the logical answer for me. If I believe that people have inherent rights, where did they come from? Oh, they came from God. That means that a legislative body can't take those rights away from me because they were given to me by an authority that's higher than you. So.
Okay, thank you. That's super helpful. So you now have almost 100,000 followers on Twitter. You have a huge network. Everyone at Human Defense Initiative absolutely loves you. You have
Thank you.
A lot of adoring fans. But what would your message be to people who really care about this? They want to make abortion not only unthinkable but unavailable. What would you tell them?
Well, I do think it's important to do the things that we're doing, to talk about it publicly, to be on social media where young people are. But I also say, don't resent the grunt work. Don't resent the on-the-ground work. Go volunteer at your local crisis pregnancy center. A lot of people don't realize that there are pregnancy centers that exist that aren't Planned Parenthood. And really, those pregnancy centers that don't provide abortion outnumber Planned Parenthood like 24 to 1, I think the ratio is. Y'all probably know better than I do. But we have mobile sonogram units that are in Dallas that it's completely free for a woman to come in to get a pregnancy test. If she's a certain amount along, they will, give her a free sonogram. They'll give her prenatal vitamins. They will help her fill out her form so that she can get free health care when she does go to the doctor. They do all of this completely for free, completely judgment free. They don't preach to you about, okay, you better not go get abortion. They just ask, what are you considering? And they say, here are your options. And they don't listen. They don't list abortion, obviously, but they are actually so much more helpful than Planned Parenthood ever is. You hear the stories of the women that go into Planned Parenthood who get an abortion, who maybe they had to go to the hospital 36 hours because of bleeding or whatever, or just emotional trauma. Planned Parenthood does nothing. Once you pay them, that you are out the door, you're just another number to them. They don't care. Crisis pregnancy centers like the one that I volunteer with, our mobile sonogram units, they follow up with you. They follow up with you the next year. If they know you had an abortion, they follow up with you and they say, how are you doing with that? Because our goal really, this is not everyone's goal, but our goal, especially at our mobile sonogram unit, is to make sure that they know the love of Jesus Christ and the person who made them. That's the most important thing, whether they choose to have an abortion or not. And if that's our message, whether you're a Christian or not, is love, that changes everything.
Absolutely, and that's what a lot of women need. I completely agree with you. A lot of people, these women they just need help. They're in a situation where they don't know that they can handle it. And they really just need a helping hand, like you're talking about, a compassionate person there to welcome them and show them that they're loved. Because you go into Planned Parenthood and they're not going to show you any compassionate care. Like you said, they want your money. And if you look at their annual reports, the amount of people that are actually referred to adoption services, it's less than 1%.
Yeah.
So they say they're pro-choice, but they're not giving women a choice.
Yeah, no choice at all.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us, Allie.
Yes, well, thank you
really
for what y'all do. I mean, good for y'all. It's going to be great. I'm excited about it.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.